Quick stat that I'll probably give out to you guys. But of course, Chelsea have been dominant historically over Aston Villa in the Premier League, that is. And I think we have won 26 games to Aston Villa, beating us only 13 times and 13 draws, right? But again, the key aspect is that Villa beat us more recently, and most recently, that is. But another fact is, I think the last time Villa, beat us consecutively in league games was 1993. So again, I would say that's a positive. But Ishan, I'll probably start with you, Ishan. The fact that we haven't beaten Villa in, say, over a year.
Yeah.
Firstly, that is something that will work against us in terms of the mindset. And secondly, even in those games where Villa did not let us beat them, I think Grealish, who's gone away from Villa now, did not really play a part except for that RCB red card that he had, right? So
yeah.
What do you feel like in terms of the mindset? How will we set up?
Yeah, I believe that it's a drawback for them that they don't have the likes of Jack Grealish. But then yes, they've got some good money out of Jack Grealish, and they have invested well. I think so Aston Villa has been one of the clubs that they've really done well in the transfer market in this transfer season, and it looks decent. It looks decent. That their team looks very decent and balanced to me as well. I can't complain much, and I think so it's going to be tough. It's not going to be that much easy. The thing is, this time I think so we're more aware, we're more balanced. We know we have that momentum, and we need to capitalize on the momentum that we have. We've got the striker that we wanted. There were many. I just remember the last game we had against Aston Villa, right, in the previous season, and the game we unfortunately lost. Unfortunately, Gareth Bale, gifted as the top 4 position for the last season in the final day, in the final moment. So. Yeah, the thing is, in that game, I remember there were many chances that we could have, capitalized on if we had a striker, but we didn't at the end of the day. But now we've got one striker, and yes, we have our demerits as well, as in Reece James getting that red card and getting suspended for this match, and also for the upcoming matches as well, 2 matches if I'm not wrong. So yeah, we've got our demerits as well. But then yes, I think so Aston Villa is a balanced squad. We should not undermine them a bit. It's going to be a tough ask, but I believe that defensively they look a little bit shaky after John Terry has left as a defensive coach. The couple of matches I've seen Aston Villa for the past weeks, I've seen that there are gaps which the likes of Lukaku or a Havertz or a Mason Mount can really capitalize on and really create some big chances on. So yeah, that's a big thing that I'm seeing in Aston Villa's defense, and I hope we really capitalize on. It'll be very important for us to get the first goal and to get that winning mentality right on. Have that mentality going on. I hope the intensity does not drop. But yeah, it's going to be a good game. Aston Villa is not a bunny of a club. They've got good signings as well. They've got Danny Ings as well, who's scoring goals. He's got that momentum as well. It's definitely going to be challenging, but I definitely hope we're gonna get through this easily.
Yes, well said. I would go with that. I'm just crossing my fingers. What you say comes right? Don't want to jinx it, but yes, definitely coming to Ryan. Ryan, you briefly spoke about Pulisic, being injured during internationals, but I think the last time we beat Aston Villa, I think the last 2 times rather, right, in the last 18 months, I remember Pulisic and Giroud being the heroes of one of the games. I know Aspi got 2 assists as well, but I think the second game was Mount and Abraham. So I think 3 of these players may not feature. Of course, Giroud and Abraham have left, and Pulisic again, the injury concern is there. So just an early prediction, Ryan, for you, who would be the star of the match from Chelsea's point of view?
I don't know if Lukaku will play, because obviously apparently he did have 1 or 2 minor problems against Belgium. So if not, I think this might surprise a couple of people. But if this player comes back, then I think he can cause a lot of trouble, and that's Hakim Ziyech. If he finds back the form that he did before he got injured, I feel like, and he plays. Obviously, it's going to be hard, obviously, because he had an injury, so it might take him a bit of time to get back into his rhythm. But if he does, for like what I saw from him in pre-season and the Villarreal game before he got injured, I feel like he could be the man to step up. Kai Havertz maybe as well. I'm not sure. Like, there's always one fault with Timo Werner. And then, Pulisic and Lukaku probably won't feature. So, I think the main man for me, if he's fit and firing, would probably be Ziyech.
Yes, I think Ziyech probably was our player of the preseason as well. Like you said, like he's probably coming back, and hopefully he has nothing to lose, right? Especially at this point. But yes, a couple of more facts before I go to Kishan. So I think Lukaku, I know Ryan briefly spoke about Lukaku as well. So Lukaku, interestingly, has, I think, scored 6 in the last 5 games against Aston Villa in the Premier League. Now that's some record, right? In the last 5 games against Villa in the Premier League, scoring 6 goals. But Lukaku has still not opened his account at Stamford Bridge. I think it's going to be his 11th appearance if he appears. On the other hand, Danny Ings, talk about him. I think Ishan mentioned about Danny Ings coming. This guy has been involved in a goal every game for the last 9 games in the Premier League. Somehow, I think he scored about 6 or 7 goals and a couple of assists. And even for Villa, I think the 3 Premier League games that they've had, he's been involved in every Premier League game, right? And that's something. So, Kishan, something's got to give. For you, is Danny Ings the person who's going to be their main man, or I think El Ghazi has had a decent couple of games against us. So who do you think is the most danger person from Villa's perspective?
They have a lot of threats. So the one that I feel like doesn't get enough talk about him is Traore. And I'm not sure if he's actually fit right now or whether he was just having period on the bench, but he caused us all types of problems in that final game of the season. He was twisting, turning everyone in knots. One good thing on our side is their goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the league, Emi Martinez. He's gone in that game that you were speaking about, the Brazil against Argentina one, and they've got the quarantine period now, so he's in quarantine, so their goalkeeper will be of a lesser quality. And then on top of that, you've got Emi Buendia, who's one of their big money signings, who also went away and has the same quarantine situation. So those 2 players out is massive. I think in terms of who else is a real threat, you touched on Danny Ings. Ings is just a brilliant goal scorer and great striker overall. But I think Ollie Watkins as well, he can stretch defenses quite a lot. He's one to watch. John McGinn, I find him a really good Premier League quality player. I think he goes slightly under the radar as well. So they're full of threats, but I just think when you look at this Chelsea team, and we were speaking about, there's no real need to be nervous. I feel like this season we're just a different beast, where I think the first game of the season against Palace, I was a bit nervous because I was like, Vieira coming in, you never know. And we had a few players who were out and about, and Lukaku wasn't done yet. But after their performances in the few games that we've seen this season, we've got no reason to doubt our team. And I think it'll be quite a routine win for us.
Interesting. Certainly, I agree with you there. I have to agree. Again, crossing my fingers. But I would like to ask the chat, right? As in, I know a lot of people in the chat here. Again, smash that like. We need more people, more interaction. But yes, having said that, chat, for you, I don't know if you guys know. Do you know which is the club with the highest number of Premier League wins overall, and who's topping the all-time Premier League table? I think we have one supporter in the chat, unfortunately, is Manchester United. I didn't want to highlight that, but the highlight here is, I think if we win this particular game, we are going to set a record in the all-time Premier League table, right? I don't know if anyone in the chat knows that. Basically, we are going to take over Arsenal, not only in the table, in terms of all-time Premier League, but this will be a 600th win if we win. Which is going to be the only, I think, the second club to do that, right? That is something. And again, a lot of people say we ain't got no history. We definitely do. That's all I would like to say.